Hey everybody, Kevin with Outdoor Inspirations channel. Thank you for being here today. This channel is dedicated obviously to anything outdoors, landscaping, gardening, plants, lighting, everything that we do as a profession with our two companies. So we're so excited you're here with us today. Today we're going to go over Q&A. So we have a video released about 6 years ago about how to build a rock walking path, and it's got like 500,000 views. We had a lot of comments asking us questions about how we built this, that, or the other with it. So we want to go over those today with you. But before we do that, I want to take a moment. Please subscribe to our channel. You help drive our ability to produce more videos. Everybody loves outdoor ideas about outdoor living and techniques and plants. So we really need your subscription, and hit that bell for notifications, because we're coming out with videos now twice a week. So let's hop on into the questions. Okay, question from Deborah Dean. Can you put paver sand over the rocks? Just wondering, this would keep the pebbles in place more. You can use sand over the rocks to help give it some stability. Paver sand's generally made for pavers, so it falls into the cracks of a paver. Problem with putting paver sand on rocks is rocks move, unlike pavers. So you're going to get that paver sand, which is a bonding sand. You wet it after you put it down, it's going to break up and just turn into a mess. So you could do play sand or any kind of regular sand. That'll certainly hold up those rocks in place a bit. Now the thing about stability and movement, so aggregates like you see in parking lots, 57 stone, that's angular rock. Problem is it comes in just generally gray. It's not very attractive, so we go with a river rock, which comes in tans, grays, burgundies, blonde, etc. But the problem with that is it's rounded. River, rolling in a river, it rounds off all the corners, so it doesn't lock together. So it is a challenge to have stability with a river rock walkway. Now there's some options there. You can do a bonding agent. It's super labor intensive and expensive. Or you can use stepping stones intermittently through that rock walkway to give you that stability. And also, I'll say smaller size rocks can compact a little easier. So if you want to go drop that size of the rock down, that'll help as well. Okay, Derek King asks, can I use treated wood as my edging since I want thicker than 4 inches? Certainly can. Now we've used all kinds of edgings in the past to hold in our rock walkway. You've got paver edging, which is super substantial, very decorative, expensive. And then you can go with the standard 4x4 treated. The thing about woods, here's a 4x6 treated. Thing about wood is it's all fine and dandy, but it's a little tricky because you're doing all those angular cuts. Because this doesn't bend, you're constantly moving with the turns of your walkway. So it can be a little challenging to make it look professional. So you want to have your cuts on point as you turn that walkway. We like to use this material most of the time. This is brown steel edging. So this is our go-to. And you don't have to bury this very deep for stability because you drive stakes in here, but you do want to drive it in to hold the line. And this stuff bends so easily. You can cut it with a metal saw blade, and they make end caps for that cut mark. So this is really cool and the most inexpensive way for a really substantial walking path that'll hold up over time. Okay, Big Lou. If my edge leads to the curb, how would I finish it without making it a trip hazard? So yeah, that's challenging. So when you're coming to permanent structures, just make sure that edging material dives down to meet that permanent material that you're coming from. Say it's a step or something like that. So you definitely don't want a trip hazard there. A question from Jenny. Can you recommend any type of adhesive to keep the stones in place? I have a similar walkway around my pool, but I'm constantly sweeping pebbles. Yes, so there's a really good rock bonding agent that we've used before on projects. You just want to make sure to follow the specifications from that manufacturer. We've used Alliance rock and binder kit, and you have to use a certain size rock for it to work well, and so there's details on that. But yeah, you clean the rock first, then you let it dry, then you put it in some kind of mixing device, a wheelbarrow, a cement mixer, mix all that product in with the rocks, and then you get it to the area as quick as you can, because it's going to set up, and you firm it in place before it sets in place. But it works great. Okay, next question's from Dan. Hold up, y'all get paid to do this? Yes. Next question from Gianna. How do you keep the path from getting muddy? Would the fabric prevent that? Yes, that's, the main functionality of the fabric is for separation. So you have soil, then you have fabric, and then you have the rock. So that prevents, if it's a good fabric, it's going to prevent that rock from migrating down into the soil, which drives up potential mud and muddy water and all that stuff. So yes, absolutely. Let me get my glasses on. From Matthew, what type of fabric do you guys use for paths? I've been looking around and want something to be able to handle gravel and be relatively thick. So let's talk about fabrics. So, Home Depot, Lowe's, you can get fabrics there, but they're really thin. This is an example of one that's super thin, and it just rips so easily, so you can just rip it. Real light, small, dainty projects, if this is your only choice, fold this over 2, 3, 4 times, and then that may work. What we like to do is use a more commercial grade fabric. This one's from DeWitt. It's a heavier ounce fabric. It's a spun bond material. Really dense, flexible, lightweight, but super strong. And the key is you want water to be able to permeate through, so you don't have drainage issues and eroding of your rock. So you do want it to breathe, and this is an excellent product. You can pick these up, check out DeWitt online, or you can go to a local commercial landscape supply house in your area, and they'll sell quality commercial fabrics. All right, next question related to fabrics is, will the fabric sheet you put avoid weeds and grass from growing through? That's a little tricky there. So yes, it does help, and depending on how much rock depth you have, that's going to help as well. So weeds, annual weeds, they come from seeds, so they're going to blow in, dandelion, etc. So it's going to be hard to prevent that, because they're just going to grow, fall in a crack, and then start growing from any kind of medium that's developed over time from the top. So anything from underneath, your perennial weeds, Bermuda grass, anything that you had under that fabric, that rock depth's certainly going to help prevent growth. So. All right, next question from Sarah. Where do you purchase the metal edging from? Well, there's a variety of places. You can go to Home Depot, Lowe's. They have aluminum and metal edgings there. We like to go to our local landscape supply house because it's more commercial grade. It tends to be a little thicker, taller, and longer. So we can get like 16-foot pieces to make that job go a little bit quicker, so it's a little more efficient for us. Okay, the next question is from Chester Kitty. What do you do with all the soil that you remove from the walkway? I assume you haul it off site, or do you just dump it somewhere out of sight for later use. Well, if it's a not so nice neighbor, we put it in their driveway for a nice surprise when they get home. No, seriously, we do normally 9 times out of 10 we're going to haul it off site, because clay soil is mainly what we're taking out of our areas. It's unsightly and you can't use it later for growing things, planting. Now if you're filling in like a low area or trying to level off your lawn, we ask the homeowner, hey, would you like all this soil put there? So that's definitely good, but most of the time we're taking that soil off site. Okay, last question from Apocalyptic Rain. How much is the cost for something like this, a walking path, right? Well, that's a loaded question. So you have a lot of variables there. You got the difficulty factor, where it's located, and accessibility, right? Are you going through a gate? Are you doing a lot of work by hand to get all that rock down there and all that soil back out? So that's labor intensive, right? Or is it an area right in front of the yard, right off the driveway? That's going to really drive the price. The other thing that drives the price is the type of rock you're choosing. So, you know, a decorative river rock can be 120 to 250 per ton. That's a pretty big variance. So, you know, or if you're doing a plain gravel like a 57 stone or whatnot, that can be a lot less. So rock type is another big one, and then the edging you choose, right? So, you know, the wood edging with a lot of labor to cut it, and you got to paint it or stain it, or you're using that brown steel edging, or bender board we didn't mention before, but bender board's a really cool synthetic material that's a little more costly than brown steel. But so you have those main factors, but you know, anywhere from $8 to $16 per square foot for the complete job is a standard range, I would say. And if you're a total DIYer, you can certainly be on the lower end of that, if not lower. So great question though. Thank you guys for watching. Hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, post them down in the comments below. And we'd love to have you join us for our next video. Please give us some suggestions on some ideas, topics you'd like us to cover. We got videos coming out every week now, twice a week. Lighting, landscaping, plants. We're so excited. Anything outdoor, it inspires us. So till next time, take care.